Hi, I'm Dr. Suman Kumar. I'm a sports medicine doctor. Today, let's look into 5 exercises for sciatica. So, the first exercise is seated glute stretch. For this, the subject has to put his right leg on the left knee. Can you please do that? Okay. And ask him to do a forward flexion of the upper body, right? In which there is hip flexion happening, not a spine flexion. So, you can clearly see the spine is as straight as possible and there is hip flexion happening in this. And you can ask him to stay in this position for like 10 to 15 seconds. You can ask him to repeat the exercise for 2 or 3 sets. It can also be done on the left side as well. So the second exercise is a stretch for a muscle in the lower back, which is called Quadratus lumborum. In this exercise, we ask the patient to lift both his hands up with elbows extended and hold one wrist with the other hand, and slowly bend towards the left side and slightly rotate his thorax, which lets this muscle here get stretched. And he can hold this position for 10 to 15 seconds and repeat it for 2 to 3 times. You can do it on the other hand as well. So this exercise is basically for the mobility of spine. So this position is called as all fours position, where his both knees and both hands are on the bed. From this position, the subject has to take his lumbar spine slightly up all the way, stretch it as much as possible, and then he can slowly bring it down. So there is a lot of mobility happening in the lumbar spine here. This exercise is usually called as cat and camel exercise. Very good for mobility of the spine. So he can repeat this exercise for about good 8 to 10 times and then rest. Fourth exercise, this is a glute stretch in lying down position. This has to happen with knee bent position, knee being bent to 90 degrees. Placing his right leg on the left knee, clasping his fingers under the left thigh, and then from in this position he has to push his knees close to the chest, or at least in that direction as much as the person can do. This will stretch the opposite side glutes. So he has to hold this position for 10 to 15 seconds and repeat it on the other side. He can do this exercise for 2 to 3 sets. So this is an exercise for again for the flexibility of glutes muscle and the piriformis muscle. So in this exercise, the subject is asked to put his leg on the opposite side, feet flat, and then he has to hold his knee joint with the opposite hand and then drag towards one side, which will cause a stretch in the glutes and the piriformis as well. So he has to hold this position again for 10 to 15 seconds. Repeat the exercise on the other leg.